Hi guys, welcome on in to another ESO Beginner's Guide. My name is Des. I'm an Australian content creator based on the east coast of Australia. We stream live on Twitch, TikTok, and we also produce content on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If you would love, before we go any further, my friends, if you like the content you're seeing tonight, please feel free to hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button and you'll get notifications of when I am putting out videos next. So as discussed, my friends, we are going to be looking at all things jewelry crafting here tonight. It's not going to be too much of a complicated video or a long video. We're going to be focusing on jewelry crafting in ESO, how to go about it, and how to get certified so you can do daily writs for it as well. One thing to keep in mind is if you do want to take full advantage and completely unlock jewelry crafting and getting certified in jewelry crafting, you will need either ESO Plus or you will need to have access to the Summerset DLC. So let's dive into it so I can give you guys a bit of an idea of what we're looking at. Let me just hide a couple of things away. And so what we'll do first and foremost, because we are very, very well structured in how we play, we're going to do our stable and horse riding training, which I recommend doing every day that you log on into the game. So that way you are taking full advantage of your jewelry crafting. So let's go and have a look at jewelry crafting in itself before we unlock certification. So if you're starting off, if you've been following along with this beginner series, you may be in Uridon or you might be in the starting zone. What you want to be looking for is if you press your map button in your starting zone, you want to look for a jewelry crafting station. And I know usually what they are is they're usually around this crafting icon, right? And so if you zoom in a little bit, you can't necessarily see it here underneath this little marquee here. But if you go further south, there's called the Crystal Vial. And what they've done in Uridon for jewelry crafting is they've got the jewelry crafting station in there, and you can see it by its little icon, just second from the bottom there. So that's where we're headed to. Where am I? No, I know where I am. I'm gonna press H to jump on my mount and get there a little bit faster. But jewelry crafting is a really good skill to have. It is a bit of a slower leveling and training profession compared to the other professions. But once you've got it down pat, it can be very lucrative and be very helpful in doing your in crafting jewelry for your characters. So now we're inside this little Crystal Vial shop, and you can see this is the icon for the jewelry crafting station, and you can see that that's the station there. So let's go and jump onto that. So this is the base area of your jewelry crafting, and what you'll notice is that it is set up very similar to your other crafting professions, so similar to your blacksmithing, your woodworking, and your tailoring, where you have a refine section and you'll have a whole pile of different elements to refine. You might not have this many to choose from, but what I do want to talk about is what you're going to have is you're going to have two different types of raw material. You're going to have dust, most likely, which is going to be what you then refine into your ingots for your crafting. But you're also going to have raw trait material. And that's going to be, see how I've got pulverized cobalt here, for example. If you have 10 of these, they can be refined into cobalt, which is then used to put the arcane trait onto your jewelry. So you've got two different types of raw materials here that you're going to want to keep an eye on. And if you do have plenty of the raw trait, you can then use it to make your trait items. Now, in terms of getting these raw trait materials, what you will do is when you are harvesting a node in the overworld, and if you're harvesting jewelry crafting materials, which is usually ingots of like either copper ores or platinum ores or so have you, or silver ores, you got a chance to get this cobalt, titanium, zinc, whatever, in that extraction. So the next tab across is your creation, and this is where you will craft your rings and necklaces, and that's the only two options you have in jewelry crafting. You can either craft rings or necklaces, and you can equip 2 rings and 1 necklace, and that's basically it. And as you can see here in the creation, you've got the options for the type you want to create. You've got then the material. If you've got some points invested into it, you're going to have more options here, but obviously starting out, you're probably just going to have pewter. And then after that, you've got then the traits. There are no style pieces for rings and necklaces because a ring is a ring, as you can imagine. There's not going to be any really designs, but there are the trait options here as well. Now, if we go across, we've got the deconstruct, which, as you can imagine, is like your blacksmithing, your tailoring, your woodworking, where this is these are the appropriate items in your inventory, or in this case, in your bank, that you can then deconstruct to extract materials from to then craft more jewelry, so to speak. So that's pretty much that aspect there as well. You do it by pressing select and then pressing R to deconstruct it. We're going to keep that there because that's there for a specific character to research. And then you've got improvement. So obviously you can, like with your other crafting professions, you can assign an item that you can have here to your improvement slot, and like your previous, with your previous crafting professions, you can then use different platings, in this case, to improve the quality of the material. So let's go, for example, I've got a pewter necklace here. If I have 1 plating, actually, you know what? There's something else I need to talk on here as well. There are actually technically, I just realized, there are technically 3 different raw materials, right? 3 different raw materials. I don't actually have... Oh no, did they change it? They may have changed it because it was a bit too complicated. What used to happen is you used to have a 3rd raw material for your improvements. And then what you would do is then, once you have a stack of 10, you'd be able to then refine it into a plating. And then you can use those platings similar to your other improvement items to improve your quality. So say, for example, I'm going to use one plating here, 1 turn plating will give me a 20% chance to improve this item to a good or rare quality item, so to speak. And if you use more platings, as you can see here, you improve your chances at improving the quality of that item. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If you want to do that, I would recommend, if you're doing this for your own character and you're wanting to improve the jewelry that you currently have, between levels 1 and 50, I wouldn't go past superior, which is your blue one. I think if you're going past and you're using epic gear or legendary gear and you're under level 50, it's probably a bit of a waste. But you do you, you know? You know, there's no right or wrong answer to this sort of thing. You know, if you find you want to use the best quality gear that you can possibly have at whatever level you have, go nuts. But especially the legendary platings, they can get a bit pricey. And I feel like that money could be better used elsewhere when you're grinding and getting your level up to level 50. So that's your improvement. And then you got the next tab along, which is your research. And then, as you can tell here, there is a number of different things here you can research. Now, what you will notice here, particularly for jewelry crafting, if you haven't got it certified, is you have these locked icons on the rest of them. There's only so many. I mean, I've got more here. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but from my understanding is you can only research and unlock so many traits before you can't go any further in your jewelry crafting, and then you need to get certified to unlock all of them. But as you can see here, you've got your necklace, you've got your ring, you've got options to research all of your different traits. Now, probably all of them are all pretty straightforward and easy to get. However, the triune and the bloodthirsty traits, they are quite expensive to track down, and the raw materials are quite rare to track down as well. But they are, like, obviously your triune increases your your health, magicka, and stamina, and you need to, there you go, see, it's a researchable from exemplary items attained by completing conquest board dailies in Cyrodiil, and you can only get them from war researchers. And I think the bloodthirsty is from completing weekly trial quests, and the trait material is from completing weekly trial quests. So there's different ways of getting all of these different things. So I'll leave you guys to explore that a little bit further, but that's your researching as well. The next one is sketches, and now sketches is more about furnishings and creating furnishings. I don't actually have any research or any blueprints or furnishing recipes or sketches for my jewelry crafting on this character, but basically what we'll do is we'll do a video on furnishings and how to go about creating furnishings in a future video, and that'll give you guys an idea of what you need to craft your jewelry or your sketches in furnishings here. But so obviously that's the basics of jewelry crafting. Now, as I said earlier, if you want to make the most out of your jewelry crafting, you're probably going to want to get jewelry crafting certified, and that is done from having access to the where is it? The Summerset DLC. Now, there are a couple of ways, because obviously the jewelry certification trainer is actually in Summerset, which is in it's in Shimmerine. Oh no, not Shimmerine. Where is it? It is Summerset, in the Summerset Isles. So you're going to need to have access to this DLC to be able to do it. And there's a couple of ways you can go about it. You can do what I just did then, where you press U and you go along your collections tab to stories, and you go to Summerset and you accept the quest if you have it unlocked already. All right. The other option is you should be able to, there should be an icon in Summerset already, which is Shimmerine, which is the starting location for the Summerset Isles. And then what you need to do is you then need to make your way over to Aelinor, which is in Summerset, and that's where the crafting location is. So there's that option as well. The other option is if you are part of a guild, if you're part of a guild and you have quite a few people online, you might be able to have a look along here, and you might be able to see, okay, is there anyone here that is in Summerset? Yes, there's a person here in Summerset. Chances are they are in Aelinor, and you can right click and you can travel to player, and that'll get you there straight away. But what we'll do for argument's sake, for the sake of this video, is we'll take the long way. So we're going to go out, we're going to zoom out on our map. Summerset is this island in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, and you can see there's a Shimmerine way shrine. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to travel to it, and we're going to make our way to Aelinor from Shimmerine, which it shouldn't take too long. What you can do is you can go through the quest progression of Summerset naturally to get yourself to Aelinor. You can follow the quests. You can do all your exploration as much as you like. There's no right or wrong way to go about doing it. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to do that for this video. We're going to just make a beeline straight for it. So I'm going to get on my mount. I'm going to press M. I'm going to zoom out on my map a little bit. And I'm going to see, okay, the best way to beeline to Aelinor, which is over here, is to follow this path, essentially. We might pick up a couple of way shrines along the way, so that way we can get to Aelinor. So that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to sprint there. We're going to go over this bridge. And it might take you a little bit of time, but honestly, if you're really invested in your crafting and you really want to get the most out of your jewelry crafting, then it's going to be a very small amount of time for you in the scheme of things. So obviously, it depends on your mount speed and your mount stamina as to how fast you're going to get there. Obviously, I'm still in the middle on this character of training this one up, but we're just going to make a beeline straight for Aelinor, and it shouldn't take us too long at all. But look, honestly, the Summerset questline and the Summerset story and the zone and the area are really beautiful and are very much a very fun and rewarding zone to explore in. So if you want to explore it along the way, I definitely recommend doing so, because it is very, very, very fun. And there's a lot to do here. And there's a lot of other things that you can unlock as well. There's a whole pile of set items, obviously. There's some more crafting traits, crafting styles as well. There's the ancient elf crafting style. There's there's new and returning characters in the storyline as well, which is really cool. You've also got the Psijics. The Psijics are heavily involved in the storyline here in Summerset. So there's that to keep in mind as well. And on top of that, there is the Psijic skill line, the Psijic Guild skill line. There's an actual particular skill line that you can unlock, and there's a whole pile of things involved in the Psijic skill line to do as well, which is also really cool. And you can get some really cool perks from using the skills in the Psijic skill line that can really help if you're a healer or if you're a Magicka-based DPS player. So there's a lot of stuff that you can unlock and discover there as well. So yeah, there's a lot that is available to you if you have the Summerset DLC unlocked. Now, in terms of, obviously, there's a number of different ways that you can go about unlocking the Summerset DLC. Now, if you're a crafter, if you're wanting to build your character to be very much a crafting character, then you're probably going to want to look at getting ESO Plus. ESO Plus has a lot of different perks in it. It unlocks a lot of DLC, which is great. And I'm pretty sure that Summerset is one of those things that can be unlocked with it, which is great. You also get some crowns that you can use in the crown store each month. But the really, really important thing is the crafting bag. Now, if you are part of ESO Plus, you will get what is called a crafting bag, which is basically an inventory specifically for crafting materials, both raw and refined, that you can then use so that way it doesn't clog up your inventory or your bank space, which is going to, obviously, inventory management is going to be really important when it comes to your crafting later on. So obviously here we are now. We are here in Aelinor, which is great. So all we got to do is basically find the crafting location. And if you press M to open up the map button, what you will find is there's a couple of different icons. And what we're going to do first and foremost is I'm going to go and grab the Aelinor Way Shrine, just so I've got it completed. But basically you want to look for this plaza icon, which is a woodworking icon. But this is where all of the crafting stations are in Aelinor, which is a really nice place. So if you're doing your crafting and you're wanting to do all of your crafting in one location, Aelinor is a really good place for it, because all of the crafting locations and all the stations are all in one nice little plaza. And then just outside of that plaza, we'll show you as well, is where you can drop off your daily writs as well. So it's a very nice, very condensed area that you don't have to travel too far in order to what would you call it? You don't have to go very far to craft all of, have everything all in one place, so to speak. So definitely consider doing that as well. So now the way shrine is just here, so we're just going to grab that. There we go. Excellent. And then all we need to do is make our way down here. down these steps and across this little bridge, and we'll come across our quest giver, which is just over here. And what you're going to do is you're going to find them just here. Just getting that set up. You might have missed some audio in the game at the moment, but I've just fixed that up, so apologies for that. Pro streamer making pro streamer moves. All right, Falarian is who you want to speak to in order to get certified in your jewelry crafting, so you can speak to him.
I see something within you, a glistening jewel ready to be polished, a passion teeming with brilliance, though not yet realized. Tell me, do you wish to be certified in jewelry crafting?
Tell me more about the jewelry crafting certification.
A certification will allow you to fulfill jewelry crafting rites. But first, you must demonstrate an understanding of the fundamentals. Create for me a simple ring. Yes, that task will be suitable to show me your craft.
I want to be certified for jewelry crafting. I'll create a ring.
Let's get started, shall we? After all, good polish takes time. First, you must gather the required materials needed to create your ring. A true artisan starts from scratch, after all.
What materials do I need?
Pewter dust, of course. It's an important component of jewelry crafting. You'll always want to have some on hand, should you wish to take up this most noble craft.
I already have some pewter dust.
Ah, so you've come prepared. Excellent. Take the dust to a jewelry crafting station. There, you can begin the delicate process of refining the dust into pewter ounces. After you've completed the task, return to me at once.
Actually, I already have some pewter ounces. What should I do with them?
Impressive. Not many have such foresight. Take the pewter ounces to a jewelry crafting station and craft a ring. It should only require a few ounces to create.
I'll go craft a ring. All right, and then basically you come in here into the plaza. Now, obviously, if you don't have any pewter dust or if you don't have any pewter dust ounces, you're obviously going to need to source those. If you have pewter dust, then that's fantastic. All you need to do is come over here to your jewelry crafting station and then refine that dust into your ounces, right? Which is great. So here we are. We've gone from refined. We've already gotten some pewter dust. I can refine a heap here. So I've selected the pewter dust, which has put it into the refining slot. I've got the quantity here, which is probably the maximum that I can, considering I only have 58, and it's every 10 that you can create 1 ounce from. So we hit refine. And then we go, we got some items, we got some pulverized cobalt, we got our ounces, and we got our turn plating, which is fantastic. We want to move over to our creation tab. We've got the ring selected, we've got pewter ounces selected. We don't want to give it a trait for this purpose, so we'll just go no trait and we'll go craft. There we go. Now we've created our pewter ring. We can now go speak to Falarian, which is all pretty straightforward stuff so far. It isn't overly complicated, really. It's very much like your existing crafting professions, and if you've been following along with these videos already, that'll sort of give you an idea of what you're in for already.
Unlike other crafts, you will need no style materials for this task. Simply take your pewter ounces to a jewelry crafting station and create one. Craft your ring and bring it back to me.
Understood.
Well, do you have a ring to show me?
I have a ring. Does it mean I'm certified?
Not yet. We have so far only spoken in terms of creation, but the act of deconstruction is also an essential skill of any artisan. Go to the jewelry crafting station and deconstruct your ring, or any other item of jewelry, should you prefer.
And why should I deconstruct something?
Deconstruction allows you to recover some amount of materials from the piece of jewelry you select. It also exposes you to the methods and practices of your peers. Deconstruct an item built by another, and your skill will grow substantially. And that's 100% on the money as well. When it comes to deconstruction, if you have items that another person has crafted for you, and you deconstruct their crafted materials, you will get an extra boost in experience from doing so. So that's also important to keep in mind. If you have a couple of friends that you're leveling up with as you go along,
It might be worth to all craft a couple of rings, trade them with each other, and then deconstruct them, so that way you get an extra boon of XP. So what is deconstruction?
Simply put, it is the practice of taking a piece of equipment and breaking it down to its constituent parts. Doing so turns your art back not only into its base materials, but also into newfound knowledge.
Okay, let's go and deconstruct this ring. All pretty straightforward stuff. We come back into the plaza. We find our jewelry crafting station, which is just over here. Fantastic. We go here, we'll go to the deconstruction tab, we'll select our ring, and then we'll press R to deconstruct that and back into normal materials. And now we can go and talk to Valerian as well, which is fantastic. And then from there, you're pretty much certified, and you can unlock and research all of the other pieces in your jewelry crafting, my friends.
Your bearing is that of an awakened artisan. Have you deconstructed a piece of jewelry as I requested?
Yes, I am ready to be certified in jewelry crafting.
Most certainly. I hereby ordain you officially certified in the art of jewelry crafting. You may begin fulfilling writs immediately. Here's a small reward to get you started in your journey.
Woo. So you get some inspiration and some turn plating, which is great.
Accept jewelry crafting writs.
There we go. We are all set. So now what we can do, and what I'll do is, for the argument's sake, is I'll run you through my process for doing my daily writs. So we'll come in here. So say, for example, you're still in Aelinor and you want to do all of your daily writs. Then say that you've gotten all of them selected. These blue arrow icons that you can see on your map, and well, not on your map, but on your compass at the top and on your in-game, is where your daily crafting writs are, and they could vary from place to place depending on what zone you're in. But basically, you can come over to the board, and then you can come here and you can accept them all. I'm going to accept every single one of them. Excellent. And what I'm going to do, because I'm here in Aelinor, is I'm going to work myself clockwise around the room, essentially. So we've got enchanting that we can do straight away. And you're going to see that this is looking a little bit different because I have got some add-ons that are making things look a little bit different. So bear with me. Got the jewelry crafting one, which is fantastic. We'll go there. We've got to make 3 rings. Let's go 1, 2, 3 to reduce quantity. There we go. Done 2. We've got then the tailoring. Tailoring, again, is pretty straightforward. Let's go and do a robe. We'll do, legs and then shoulders. Yep. 3. Done. Now, that's outfit station. We don't need that. That's another tailoring station. Don't need that. We've got the provisioning. Again, it looks different because I'm using add-ons to view all of my recipes. So don't fret if it looks different for you, my friends, but you'll go and do those. You've got your woodworking station. Again, pretty straightforward. We'll create 2 restoration staffs. And then we've got the shield. Excellent. And then we've got blacksmithing. Again, pretty straightforward. We'll do a sword, and then I'm guessing it'll be a helmet and a not cuirass, and maybe greaves. Yeah, there we go. See, I've done this so many times, I've got an idea of what I'm going to be actually crafting each time around. So we've done all those, and then alchemy is just over here. So we'll go here to alchemy. We're going to choose natural water because that's what level we're at the moment. And then I'm going to choose my materials. We need to craft a recipe of ravaged stamina. So let's have a look around. And what I've done is, off stream, is I've gone and discovered a lot of the different combinations for a lot of the ingredients. So I have unlocked just how I can see everything. There we go. Flesh fly, lava, and imp stool. Perfect. Oh, not imp stool, a Temic Rasula. And there we go. I've done all of my crafting writs very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do is, if you're in Aelinor, you can just come out of the plaza. You can go to your left. And where you drop them off is literally over here, which is nice and easy. So we'll just go and drop all of these off. There we go. 2 more. And there you have it, my friends. If you've been following along, you have just completed all of your crafting writs and certifications, my friends. How good is that? Good job. I am super proud of you. Good job indeed. So, alrighty guys, so that is it basically. That is how you go about getting your certification in your jewelry crafting. And if you've been following it along in my videos already, you'll be certified in your equipment crafting and your consumable crafting as well. So feel free to go absolutely bananas. What I do want to say though is if you are playing on a single character, you don't necessarily have to learn how to craft, or you don't necessarily need to learn how to craft every one of the crafting professions, right? You can do just the ones that suit you. So if you are a Nightblade and you're like a rogue, then you just have to worry, and you don't necessarily have to worry about all of them. You can just do your tailoring, your blacksmithing, and your woodworking. Or if you want to just focus on doing consumables, you can just work on your provisioning, enchanting, and alchemy. Or if you just want to do one of them, that's perfectly fine as well. The other thing too is you can just go about and you can do different crafting on different toons if you like. But it is important to note that you can do all of your crafting all on one character. And what you can do on top of that is obviously skill points, for example. Skill points play a really important role in your crafting skill and what you can and can't do. What I do want to say is don't stress too much about it. If you are leveling and learning how to play the game and going along with it, I would preference leveling up your combat skills before you do your crafting skills. But keep in mind, there are so many skill points available in ESO that you can comfortably learn how to craft and max out every crafting profession, as well as all your required combats and passive skills that you need as well. So don't feel like you have to chop and choose. You might have to do a little bit of chopping and choosing early on as you still have a limited number of skill points, but as you grow your skill points, you'll be able to unlock everything to your potential. So don't feel like you're stuck and you can't do certain things. You will be able to do it as long as you play along and you unlock skill points by doing the quests and storylines, by collecting sky shards, by completing dungeons. There's all sorts of things that you can do. But that wraps up our jewelry crafting tutorial, my friends. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section what you thought, if this helped you or not. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see in the future. If you liked the video, my friends, feel free to like the video as well as subscribe if you want to see more of my content in the near future. We'll be putting out some more stuff very regularly in the future. What we're probably going to explore next in the tutorials, in the tutorial series, is probably a little bit of not so much questing, but sort of elements in the open world, in the zones, that is important to note. So we'll probably go over world bosses. We're going to go over in-game events like Dolmen's is probably the most common one. We're going to go over delves as well as public dungeons. And we'll go over what all those things are and how to go about them in the very near future. So that'll probably be one big video that we'll look at. So if you're liking what you see and you want to see more of it, stay tuned. We're going to be putting out some of those videos again very soon. Again, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out and tuning in and listening to this video. I hope you found some value out of it, and I will see you all in the next one. Until then, bye for now.